Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that helps you become your best self, and today we are talking about you don't have to prove your worth. You are enough. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come say hi to me on TikTok or Instagram. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo. There's tons of content over there. I'd love to talk to you in the DMs and just become friends online. You're also welcome to send me an email to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. I also have a Facebook group called the Real Positive Girl Community on Facebook that I'm trying to figure out the best way to serve you guys over there. So if you want to join that group, you can do that. There's also a weekly newsletter that comes out every single Monday. It will even come out on holiday Mondays. I just have to make sure that I prep it in advance, but it will. It's there every single week. So if you want to subscribe to that, you can. And there are so many things down there in the show notes. So take a little peek at all the links and things that you could go to. There's also an anonymous survey to submit topic suggestions for the show if you want me to talk about something specific, but you don't want to write me an email about it. Totally fine. I took care of it for you. So go ahead and check out all that stuff. But let's go ahead and jump into today's episode, which again is you don't have to prove your worth. You are enough. For a long time, I was under the impression that I needed to prove my worth to other people. So I would be respected. I wanted to be respected. I think all of us at some time want to be respected. Oh man. Respected, seen as like someone worthy of being friends with, even someone to love. Which sounds really sad. Even when I was writing these notes, I was like, this sounds really sad. But I realized over time that I would put in so much freaking work to be worthy of certain people, and it wouldn't make a difference in how they saw me. Like, it would just be like, oh, okay, thanks for doing all of that. We're not going to invite you into the club. We're not going to like you. You're not going to be part of our group. Like, absolutely not. Or there were times where it did make a difference, but only while I was doing the most for them, right? When I was really just doing all the work and being like, oh yeah, I'll do this, that, and the other for you and be here for you. And there are all these things. And, it's like once I took a step back because I thought I was already in the group, friends with them, being cared for by them, it would all fall apart. They're like, oh no, you have to like work here. That's basically what it felt like. It's like, you have to do the work to be a part of this group because you're not really like us. And it really like messed with my self-worth issues. I allowed it to, rather. And it was a struggle, but I was able to come back from it. And if you are in that same struggle of dealing with that, just know you will be able to overcome it, I promise. But self-worth is a tricky thing. It is a tricky thing. It can easily be mistaken for self-worth, self-esteem. Some people think that self-worth and self-esteem are the same thing, or that that self-worth is self-esteem, but vice versa. It absolutely is not. Self-esteem, which is more based on confidence you have in your abilities, your successes, achievements, things like that. Self-worth is the internal sense of knowing. Please remember this. Knowing you are enough as you are to be accepted, to be loved, to be respected, to be anything. To be anything. You don't have to go out of your way to show you're worthy because you already are. You already are, every single one of you. I don't care what your past was. I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care what people are saying about you. You are enough. You just have to believe it. You already are. And it's simple, right? It sounds so simple to just be like, oh, wow, you're saying that right now I can decide that I am worthy? Yeah, you can. But, the reason people get all caught up in struggling with their self-worth is because it depends on you believing that you're worthy and that you deserve certain things and being treated a certain way. The problem is that you could also decide to believe the opposite, which is where people end up having low self-worth. You could decide that you are a terrible person that doesn't deserve any love or friendship or care from people, and that you don't deserve to get compliments. You don't deserve to get raises at work. You don't deserve to have a job that you enjoy. You don't deserve to be in a relationship that with someone that actually loves you and cares for you and doesn't treat you poorly. You don't deserve to have friendships where people genuinely want to be there for you. You believe all these despicable negative things about yourself, and then you wonder why you have self-worth. It's because you're believing all these negative things. You have to believe that despite everything that you're going through or you did go through that you're currently struggling with, that you are still worthy because you haven't given up. You're still going. You're still pushing through. You're making the effort. You are enough right now. We're all created that way. It's amazing, right? You just have to believe it. You have to just believe it. And yeah, there's going to be some people that reject us and don't want us and say that we're not worthy, but that's really their own confusion happening. They are really just projecting their own insecurities and issues of not wanting you in their group for whatever weird biases, insecurities that they have. And that's on them. It might hurt your feelings because you feel like you need to be a part of whatever they are, whether it's a friendship, relationship, a group, or whatever, a job, but you don't because they need to figure their stuff out first. It hurts, but it's better to lean on knowing that you are enough and you are worthy right now rather than having to pretend to be someone else and go out of your way to do things you don't want to do and get all caught up in this fakeness just to feel like you're worthy when it's not even you that's worthy, right? It's just some made-up pretend person that you decided to be to gain this fake worthiness. You know, and deciding to believe we are not worthy can happen for a number of reasons, right? I already did some quick examples of things that we would believe about ourselves, but we can really end up deep in this low self-worth mindset when we start believing like opinions and judgments from others and have those things contribute to how we feel about ourselves, because it can be really easy to get caught up in what someone else says about us, and we will internalize that and then believe, wow, we are a piece of trash, like they said. It can be so easy to do that. We can also not give ourselves grace, when bad things happen, to allow ourselves to understand that there are no perfect people in the world. We need to give ourselves grace, but we will not allow ourselves to have grace when we experience mistakes and failures and decide we are terrible people that won't amount to anything. We are letting this determine our self-worth because of all these, external influences and experiences that we've gone through that we think dictate who we are and what we're all about. And those of us that struggle with people-pleasing, I've shared many times over the years that I do struggle with that. It's getting easier to not do it. It took many years, many years. But those of us that struggle with people-pleasing have trouble with their self-worth because everything they do depends on how other people see them, right? How other people see them, treat them, allow them to be a part of their lives. It's so super conditional. I think it's hard to really see that when you're all deep in the people-pleasing. But we have to recognize that it's so super conditional, which relates directly to our self-worth. And we don't think we're worthy unless someone is telling us that we are worthy. Again, external validation. But if you want a jumpstart way to increase your self-worth right now, if you're like, okay, Sabrina, I'm on board to understanding that I need to believe in myself. What can I do right now? Start by pulling back on your self-criticism. There are enough people around you, probably, that are coming down on you at saying negative things about you, have opinions that are really harsh. You don't need to add to the trouble. Don't add to the trouble, Don't add to it. Really pull back on that self-criticism of always being down on yourself, telling yourself negative things about yourself, not allowing yourself to have grace and forgiveness when things go wrong or awry. We make poor decisions, because we all do. Some of us just may not admit to it, but we do. You need to let it go. There's enough of that happening around you. You don't need to add more flames to the fire. I don't think that's the quote, but you know what I mean. You don't need to do that. So that's a good jumpstart way to increase your self-worth. And I'm going to be talking more about self-worth in the next few months, because I do want to do an updated version of the episodes I put out like over 2 years ago speaking on the subject of self-worth. If you do want to listen to those, it's like back in the day when I used to do a series. I think it was like the first full year of the podcast. I would do things in series. So, and that was back when the show had 5 episodes every single week, and everyone's like, "You're crazy! I can't believe you're doing that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really dedicated here. Let's do it." And I'm still dedicated. I just realized that I was overwhelming myself really a lot, but it was a different life, basically. I feel like anyway, 5 episodes every week. So if you go back to like April of 2020, I believe there is a series talking all about self-worth and self-esteem. So you can go back and listen to that if you want. But I will be doing an updated episode on that here soon. So look for that coming around fall time. And if you're not listening when this episode is actually put out, it was put out on the first day of July. So you should see updated episode within the next 3 months. Okay, so if you can't tell, I'm kind of sick during this episode. I'm trying really hard not to cough because if I cough, it'll create really difficult edits to make in the middle of the show. So anyway, look for that. More information coming about self-worth in the fall. But let's chat about how you do not have to prove yourself to others, and some ways you may be trying to do that when you no longer need to. So here are 5 things you need to stop doing because you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. Okay, let's jump into the list. But as always, this is not a conclusive list. If you do not find that these things align with what you are dealing with and your low self-worth or lack of self-worth and issues like that, please go online and look something up or speak to like a therapist or a psychiatrist or something like that, a counselor that could help you. This is just based on my own research of doing it and bringing forth the information that I think is probably the most important to you. So here we go. Number 1, always helping everyone else but yourself. If you are always helping everyone else but yourself, generally you're trying to prove yourself to other people. You are trying to prove your worthiness that, hey, I can be here for you. I can take care of you. I can neglect myself because you are more important than I am. And putting yourself last has never been the move. It's never been the move. People think it's been the move. Okay, believe me, I used to think it was the move. I'm telling you, I am a hardcore like people pleaser. I used to think it was the move. It's not. It's not the move at all. But we think it is because it's easy to do that. It's easy to put yourself on the back burner and not allow you to take care of yourself at all because you get so consumed with feeding off this negative energy from these people that you are trying to prove your worthiness to, and they are continuing to like pull you in because they're like, okay, if you just do this, and if you just do this, you just help out with this, one more thing, keep on going. And you get so wrapped up into it. It becomes almost like an addiction of needing to help everyone else but yourself because you get that approval, because you feel like you are worthy, because you're doing something that is helping others, which, if you take a step back, can be seen as something super like amazing and kind and giving, right? And something to have gratitude over. But there's a fine line between like stepping over the boundary of like just doing it for, maybe reasons that you're not going to share with people about how you feel like it fulfills your self-worth, but also the boundary of needing to still take care of yourself so you can actually continue to pour into people and help them. Because if you run out, it's like you can't pour from an empty cup. Cliche phrase. I know. We don't. If you've listened to the show long enough, you know that I always say that cliche and cheesy phrases, we're tired of hearing them. That's why we label them like that. But they are generally always true. So you have to take the time to take care of yourself. So stop helping everyone else but yourself. You don't need to prove your worth that way. You could help one person one time. You should do more than that, I'm just saying. But you can do it one time and then be like, yeah, that's fine. I don't need to do it more to prove that I'm a good, kind person. You just need to do what actually flows out of your heart to be a kind, giving person. So it's real. So it's authentic to you. Okay, number 2, not asking for help from others. This is something that I still struggle with as well. It's like this thing where I feel like I need to be seen as that strong, independent woman. It's like a freaking Destiny's Child song. If you That really is showing my age. But independent woman, that's what I always thought I needed to be. I didn't want to have anyone. I didn't want to need anyone. I needed to be able to do it all on my own because it gave me, I feel like it garnered respect and people were impressed and they're like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. You can just do all this stuff on your own. And then I wouldn't feel so needy about needing like a man or anything, even though I still did for other reasons. It's so toxic, to be honest with you, when you feel like you don't need to ask for help. You think that you can do it all on your own, but there is no shame in asking for help. I want you to know that. I used to think that. Sometimes I still struggle with that for sure, because I don't want people to label me as like someone that's not smart or an idiot or something like that. That is like a worst nightmare for me, especially since I'm like a lifelong student, learner, always researching things. I don't want to, I just don't. I don't want to I don't want to look like that, right? But I have to remind myself, you don't need the badge of honor that comes with this false sense of independence where you're like, I don't need to ask for help from anyone. Like the most like famous or rich people in the world ask for help from others. People that you look up to probably most likely ask for help from others. It's okay. You're not going to look less than. And just because someone else is hailed as amazing and impressive and ultimately respected because they did it all on their own, they're probably not telling the truth. Because you know how people are like, yeah, I did it all on my own. And I'm like, okay, well, did you learn like all of the things for this technology, for this business on your own? Did you really? Or did you have someone put it together for you? Do you have people hosting your website? Do you have people like, working for you? And it's just like this, I feel like it's kind of like sometimes a lie when people are trying to get out there and say, like, I did it all on my own. It's like, okay, you either did do it all on your own and you just took on all of this excessive burden for no reason when you could have asked for help. And actually, maybe things might have turned out a little bit better. Even if things are fine, they could have been elevated even a little bit more if you asked someone that's more versed in the thing that you're doing so that it could be even more efficient and better and top notch. Or you didn't do it on your own and you're kind of like just lying about it because it makes you feel good. And you think, again, you are garnering that positive attention, that respect that you want from people. But again, it's just like this silly badge of honor that you want from this false sense of independence because you think that's what makes you worthy of being able to do everything on your own. But it's not. So let's stop doing that and let's just embrace the idea of asking people for help because it's okay and it's better. It's better to get things done quicker and easier when you have someone to help you move that thing along. That's the thing that I try to remind myself of. When I don't want to ask for help, I'm like, but do I really want to be working on this for this long or do we want to cut it in half because I'm going to have help? Smart. It's smart. Just think about it. Okay, number 3. Enduring emotional and physical pain from others. Let me just start with absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are not proving your worth here. Don't do it. Stop doing this. Get the heck out of there. Literally, I wrote that in my notes. Get the heck out of there. Whether it's a relationship, like a romantic relationship or a friendship or a family member, work, whatever. I don't care what it is. Get out of there. Don't stay with people that hurt you emotionally or physically. It's not worth it. Never, never in a million years. Never, never, ever, 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 ever continuing for a million years. It's never worth it. And you can before you consider, well, what they're going to change. Or I'm there to be a positive influence. You can be a positive influence from like 100 feet away. You can be a positive influence online across the country, in a different continent, maybe even. Like you don't need to be in the relationship, regardless of what kind of relationship it is. You don't need to be there to prove your worth. You don't. You cannot, and I mean this with every sense in my body. So please listen, if you are like, no, I need to help them. You cannot change them. You cannot change them until they decide to change themselves and, because I know you've heard that part before, but you cannot change them until they decide to change themselves and even if they say they are going to change, give them the room to do so alone first. Because unfortunately, sometimes you can be in a relationship where they are manipulating you and you're like, you need to change. And they're like, and you say it enough times and they're like, okay, fine, this person's just nagging me. I will change. They say they're going to change and then they don't change, but they keep saying they're going to change because that is the thing that'll keep you there. And you'll continue to think that you are proving your worth by being in this terrible relationship where nothing is changing. Allow them to prove it to you. For once, it's like not like make them prove something to you, right? Because it's not working. It's not working until they can actually prove it. And even then, it's just like, no, take a step back, get the heck out of there. You don't, please, I beg of you, do not think that staying in these unhealthy relationships is you proving your worth to them. They're not worthy of you. Let's just end with that. They are not worthy of you. Please understand that. We got to move on. Number 4. I could go on a whole tangent about that. I'm literally thinking in my mind, should I do a whole episode talking about like emotional and physical pain and how to deal with relationships like that? Let me know. Drop me a line. Instagram, TikTok, email. Let me know if you want that. Anonymous survey. So if you don't want to expose yourself, let me know. Let me know. Number 4, needing to always be right. Whew. I just say that because I recently had this tip for something else I was talking about on my TikTok, and it's like, and it was in a previous podcast episode, if you listen to it, talking about how you don't always need to be right when you are learning how to forgive someone. It also applies here. You think that you need to be right to show that you are worthy, to prove your worth. You think you'll get like more respect if you're always correct. But it's not always true, to be honest. Sometimes they're just like annoyed that people are always correct, which is just really, that doesn't mean that you have to like, deal with that or be upset about that. Like, because I know some people leaning into like people thinking that you're annoying because you know everything or you're trying to be right about everything is really, you don't want to lean into other people's opinions about you. You don't want to do that. But it's not going to garner you more respect if that's what you're looking for. And there are times when multiple opinions can be correct. So you can't win every conversation. And if you think that being right and winning every conversation is what will help you prove your worth, it's not going to work that way. It's not going to work that way. But it's also ego baked in, thinking that you need to be right about everything, and lack of acceptance that no one knows everything. And that's perfectly fine and acceptable. Because learning from others is actually needed so you can widen your perspective and understand things from different angles, different ideas, different experiences. It's really important. So needing to always be right is not something you need to do to prove that you are worthy of people's company or time or interest, because you're not always going to be right. There's going to be multiple opinions, and also it's doing a lot, just to be honest. So you can sometimes just take the time to learn from other people, offer your opinion, but you don't have to force people into believing that you're right and that makes you the respected person. Sometimes that just makes you the arrogant person, and people still don't consider you to be worthy, which doesn't matter because worthiness is supposed to come from self-worth anyway. So you know what I mean. Okay, number 5. Number 5, and our last one for today, compromising your morals and values. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Changing what you believe in, how you live your life, and what leads you to make decisions about your life is not living your authentic life. Just so you know, if you are changing those things to prove your worth to someone else because you need to align with whatever they believe and how they live their life, it's all fake. It's living as a puppet for someone else, which doesn't make you worthy. It does not. It absolutely doesn't. It makes you a prop there to stroke someone else's ego. Think about it. Like, if you feel like or been told that you have to change your morals and values of how you live your life to be worthy to someone else, then they're not accepting you as being worthy as yourself. They're accepting you and you're being classified as worthy by turning into a mini version of them and who they are. It's not authentically you. So stop compromising your values and your morals just to feel like you need to prove that you're worthy, because that'll never work out. 110%, it will never work out. I promise you. So don't do that, because you will quickly fall out of touch with who you really are and how you want to live your life and what actually aligns with you truthfully to live your life and the beliefs and the values that you want to live by, make decisions with. So just consider that. Okay, well, that is all of it. I'm super proud of myself that I didn't cough once. So great. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. Thank you so much for listening, downloading, sharing the show. I appreciate everyone doing that. You're so amazing. Don't forget to check the show notes below where you can sign up for the weekly newsletter, find me on TikTok or Instagram, send me an email, submit a topic through the anonymous survey. Really anonymous. I do not know who it is. And sign up for the Facebook group, all of the things. But I feel a cough coming. So until next time, have a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.